The hypocrisy of the woke never ends. I swear to God, these people were either born as crack babies or their mothers drank heavily while they were pregnant because there is no other way to explain how 8% of the population can be this stupid. The Atlanta Braves are leading the World Series 2-1 right now. This has triggered many emotional men on the far left. Bill Plaschke's panties get wet with tears every time he sees 60,000 people engage in the tomahawk chop. What I haven't seen, and admittedly, I haven't really looked too hard for it, but I have not seen very many Native Americans come out and say that they are offended by the Atlanta Braves. The only people I see faking offense are old white males who apologize for their white privilege and your typical social justice warrior. People like Clinton Yates. I would imagine most of you have never heard of Clinton Yates. He's irrelevant. He writes for The Undefeated, an online magazine that very few people read. The Undefeated is full of journalists that push things like critical race theory or the notion that all white people are racist. It's owned and operated by ESPN, which last I checked, ESPN was supposed to be all about diversity and inclusion. We want to feature people of all races on our network. But if you're white and you work at ESPN, you must bend over and take the woke dick right in your ass. ESPN sucks. The only show on that network that's even remotely entertaining is the Manning cast on Monday nights. Now imagine that. One of the most popular shows on the network is the show dedicated strictly to sports, the NFL, Monday Night Football. Ratings for Woke Take, they were in the pooper all year. Captain of the sinking woke Titanic known as ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, he blames Max Kellerman for the low ratings, gets him fired. Ratings for Woke Take are now lower than they were before. Turns out, Stephen A. Smith, not the draw that he thinks he is. I guess the majority of people just aren't that interested in seeing a grown man bitch and complain about white privilege on national television 5 days a week. Clinton Yates, he is another social justice warrior trying to make a name for himself in the drowning pool of woke virgins. And that pool, I'll admit, is getting kind of crowded. A bunch of grown men drowning in each other's tears of emotion. The rest of us normal people, we are standing outside the pool with life rafts in our hands, while the woke are begging for us to throw the raft into the pool to save them. We decide we would rather watch them go under instead. Clinton Yates wrote an article for The Undefeated this week, and I guarantee you, had a white person wrote this same article about an African American, he would be ruined. He'd have to hire personal security to guard him 24 hours a day. You guys know me. I don't call things racist. And I'm not even offended by what he said in this article, but if the roles were reversed and a white person said the same thing, social justice warriors would declare a nuclear Twitter war on him. This is an example of the blatant hypocrisy when it comes to the woke. If you're in the group, you can say and do whatever the hell you want without repercussion. The tagline of this article from Clinton Yates, it reads, "The chop has to go. The chant is deplorable, and all of it is racist." What the hell is so racist about the Braves chant? It's literally nothing but a series of O's. That's it. Clinton Yates then goes on to contradict himself in his own article. He calls Major League Baseball the oldest, whitest sport in America. You know, social justice warriors, they just hate anything that white people enjoy. Evil white men aren't allowed to enjoy themselves. They are responsible for my great grandfather being enslaved 200 years ago. Couple of paragraphs later, Clinton Yates insinuates that the Atlanta Braves as an organization are racist because they moved the team out to Cobb County. And if you guys aren't familiar, if you're not down here in the South and you're not familiar with the Atlanta area, let me explain this to you. Fulton County is the heart of Atlanta. It's where the Braves played for decades. Hell, their old stadium was Fulton County Stadium. Cobb County is the suburbs, Marietta, Kennesaw, Smyrna. It's the suburbs of Atlanta is what it is. Clinton Yates is upset because the Braves moved from Fulton to Cobb County. That's racist. Well, let's think about this for a second. Clinton Yates, you just said baseball is the oldest, whitest sport in America. Okay? So let's use your own logic. If you owned a Major League Baseball team, you would want to put that team in a white area. After all, according to Clinton Yates, black people don't like baseball. It's a white people sport. Fulton County is 46% white, 44% black. Cobb County, 62% white, 25% black. So what the Atlanta Braves did by moving out to Cobb County, they moved closer to their fan base. They made it more convenient for their customers. That doesn't sound like racism to me. It sounds like smart business. Clinton Yates said black people in the Atlanta area were just pissed off that the Braves moved to Cobb County. But wait a minute now. Why would they be pissed off? According to your own article, black people don't watch Major League Baseball. So what the hell would they be pissed off about? It's not like the Hawks moved 20 miles away. The Braves did. He proceeds to demand that the Braves change their name, because Braves is so offensive. Once again, a social justice warrior who is supposed to excel in creativity comes up with one of the worst names I have ever heard for a baseball team. Clinton Yates' proposal, the Atlanta Hammers. He claims he came up with that name after Hank Aaron. I think it's because Clinton Yates was hit in the face with a hammer and lost all ability to think like a reasonable person. But it's the last sentence of this piece of shit article that really got my attention. It's another name change proposal for the Braves. This one really took a lot of critical thinking by Clinton Yates. He really put a lot of thought into this. He said the Braves should change their name to the Cobb County Crackers. Let me just say this. I've never been offended by the word cracker. Matter of fact, I don't know anyone who is offended by it. Unlike SJWs, I don't get my feelings hurt when someone calls me a racial slur. But this use of a racial slur went out on an ESPN website. It went through an editor. They still posted it. Like I said earlier, flip the script here. A white journalist uses the N-word in an article. What do you think the response would be? My question is, how come there is no outrage? I thought the woke were against all forms of racism. I thought they were about inclusion. How come Jamel Hill isn't calling out Clinton Yates, calling for him to be fired for his blatant racism against white people? How come Stephen A. Smith isn't standing on top of the desk on Woke Take, blasting Clinton Yates? Where's the outrage? You already know the answer. There's not going to be any outrage. There is no such thing as racism when a black person calls a white person a cracker. Something can only be racist if it affects African Americans and it comes from a white man. Anyway, let me know what you think of Clinton Yates and ESPN posting a blatantly racist article. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.